Warning, the following audio has a lot of cursing.
We need to see what you see so we can all be on the same page.
Yeah, we're not going to be on the same page. We're gonna be a step behind you the whole time.
That's the whole point. I'm leading the thing. Then you're reacting to what I'm talking about.
You've seen podcasts before, right?
Not all of them have even information. And I sent this to you on your phone.
Didn't send it to me.
Yeah, I don't remember getting that.
Yeah, I remember I was like, can you look over this and see if you have any thoughts?
Oh, is that what you emailed me?
Yeah. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Cerberus podcast. With me today is Kyle, also known as Zeus on our team, and Ethan, who you've met before, Kestrel, named after some stupid bird. The topic today, we're going to be talking about defining the roles. And by roles, I mean what you can play on in a squad. The four major ones: Rifleman, Support, DMR, and Sniper. And also, this will be related to outdoor play and milsim. Most of the time for indoor, you'll stick to Rifleman. So, first things first, for you two personally, I guess we can start off with Kyle here. In order, what would you say for these four roles, for you personally?
Regarding what one you feel is most important to least important.
Yeah,
And
in descending order. So, like, what would you say is the most important role for a squad to have?
support.
So, you would say...
And I'm pulling that just from my own military experience. Is you got four guys. We'll go team level. We'll go smallest. You got four dudes running around. You got three with an M4. One's got a grenade launcher, and one guy's got a saw. The job of the team leader is to maneuver that saw to kill all the guys. The two riflemen are there to support and engage specific targets. So the support role is not a point target system. Again, this is airsoft, so everyone's really their own support because everyone has full auto capabilities. But for a lot of milsims, they're starting to require now, if you're going to play the role of the rifleman, semi-auto only, which I like, makes it more realistic.
Yeah.
So support, that makes support even more important because you have the full auto capabilities. Your job is to kill as many guys as possible, but it's to kill in a larger area. You're not going to pick out one dude in a field and fire once, twice, maybe three times and hit him and or kill him. Your job is to suppress that whole area of the field. It's an area weapon. So you're literally just trying to keep people's heads down. You're trying to keep them from maneuvering. You're trying to keep them from being able to see your own friendly element so that the rifleman and the team leader can continue to move and bound that weapon system forward along with the other riflemen to be able to get close and engage and destroy the opposition. So support, my opinion, number one. Riflemen, number two. Riflemen are incredibly important. They're the most versatile. They can do almost anything. You get enough of them, you have your own supporting element. It's not going to be as good as a supporting platform such as the 249 or at the platoon level, the 240. But, you get four guys that know what they're doing with an M4.
Right.
And they're able to control their own rate of fire and be able to pick their own targets independently. It's pretty devastating.
Yeah, it is different because with M4s in airsoft versus M4s in real world, the volume of ammunition you have in an airsoft mag versus a standard M4 mag, 30 rounds goes fast if you use full auto, and that's why most infantrymen don't do full auto out in the real world.
That's significantly harder to control.
Yes, well, and that very few active army units have full auto capable M4 rifles.
Oh, really?
They got rid of that in Vietnam. One of the main reasons was lack of control, and they literally blew their whole load. immediately.
And by all means, speaking of that, puns intended and swearing.
Yeah.
It's already disclaimed at the beginning of the podcast.
I apologize. But they had 20 back in Vietnam. They had 20-round magazines that last way less than now even, and they had far less training as far as weapon manipulations and tactics, and even just individual soldier discipline. So they were not. They'd start getting shot at, and they'd flip it from safe to fun switch, and just let loose.
Would you say Full Metal Jacket is a good example of that? I don't remember which era that. I believe that was Nam.
That was Vietnam.
Yeah.
Would you say that's a good representation of after the training? Watch how they are in the field.
Watch.
We
were soldiers.
We were soldiers.
We were soldiers.
Okay.
That was a very good movie. It was very well done. And that is a good representation. Next would be the marksman's rifle, the DM, designated marksman. So real world application, that's traditionally an M14 in the Army. And they're starting to push away from the M14. The Army just got a contract with HK for the real G28. I will hold my.
Oh, right. I remember seeing that.
I will hold my own personal opinions about that choice. For this podcast.
Yeah, go ahead. This is it.
Feel free.
I think that is
No holds barred.
really stupid.
No, by all means, I called out the Chris Vector in the first episode on the whole drama with people purchasing them, and only a quarter of the people kept them, and the other 3/4 sold them because of the cost.
Yeah.
So no worries on controversial.
I think it was stupid. I get what they're trying to do, but we need money elsewhere and not in marksman's rifles that honestly are not even that widely used in the Army. There's 2 per platoon. Yeah. And standard infantry unit. In Special Forces, they have their own setups they like anyway. They run the SCAR Heavies, they run the HK-417s. Right. They run their own M14s. They run the Mark 48, I believe it's called, which is the 7.62 caliber saw-sized machine gun. Where it's a paratrooper-sized 249 in 7.62 caliber.
Yeah. I'll put pictures to reference what these weapons look like.
But I do think the designated marksman would be the third most useful in an airsoft setting, because especially with the advancements that airsoft has gone through over the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it's exploded.
It's incredible.
DMR wasn't even really a thing 2 years ago,
No.
because people would get an M14 and it would just be neat to have.
It was basically a novelty.
And nowadays, because of the advancements HPA and just more plethora of guns to use for a DMR platform, and we'll talk about the 7.62, I call it controversy, just because there's drama with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
it just, nowadays, so many people are doing it.
Yeah, and again, back to the advancements, my Crytek, my own personal rifle, right now,
What is it again? I always forget.
I have an SPR, I have a Gen 1 SPR.
SPR, okay.
And it's the special purpose rifle. There is a difference between a special purpose rifle and a designated marksman's rifle. If you're going by airsoft, it doesn't matter. Grab an MP5 and put a 120 spring in it, and you'll be able to hit someone 250 feet away, no problem. Just for whatever reason, my buddies did that.
It deals with voluming and barrels, and trust me, that'll be in the teching video that we'll make.
Anyway, so my Crytek, right now, I don't have a whole lot done to it. It's pretty stock. They perform very well stock. I had to have a Franken-Torque motor custom built for it, because it was too efficient. And the motor that it came with was that I was getting a 2 or 3 cycle per trigger pull. So it was essentially having a 2 or 3 round burst every time I pulled the trigger on something auto. It's not bad. It's not damaging anything. It just means that it's efficient. It's cycling very well. But I don't like that. I don't want it. I want semi-auto to be 1 round when I pull the trigger. So I had a custom Franken-Torque motor built for me. So it's a lower rate of fire. It's realistic. It's about 16, 17 rounds per second. So, not anything incredible. But very snappy trigger response in semi-auto. And with just super bare bones basic, pop-up and barrel setup I already had lying around. It's got a G&G green bucking, the stock pop-up unit.
Awesome book.
Yeah, it is amazing bucking, especially since we live in Michigan. And and just Mad Bull, a 407 millimeter length Mad Bull barrel, the 6.03. It's one of their aluminum ones.
The Python one.
Yeah, the Black Python, version 2, I believe. I'm
deal.
with .3s, I'm shooting 400 feet per second with a .2 roughly. So with .3s, I'm about 330, 335 feet per second, and I'm able to put them all within the chest of a person at 230 feet.
Yeah,
and that's just I think I have a brass H nub as well. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
So that will help a little bit. And it does great. I'm going to be sending it out to get art hopped at some point over the winter. And I'm going to be picking up a PDI barrel for it, 395 millimeter length and 6.05 diameter, which we'll get into barrel diameters in another podcast. And that will be a 275-ish foot gun. And I'll be playing as a rifleman, and I have the same effective engagement distance as traditionally with most people you'll play against, most designated marksmen and sniper rifles. Designated marksmen are very handy because they get to build one specifically for that. So while I may just run like a scout scope or even like a little T1 red dot or something on my carbine, I'll throw a 1-6 or a 1-4 power scout scope or even just a normal traditional looking sniper scope, if you will, on like an SY-25 or my Scar Heavy that I'm having built here soon. And I can turn that into a designated marksman's rifle based on one caliber, if you want to go by military standards. And the engagement distance, while it will still be the same as my Crytek, I will be more effective at that distance because I will have the magnification abilities to identify different targets, different objectives. I'll be able to scout and observe better than I would as a roller rifleman. And then last but not least for airsoft would be the sniper recon. You really need to know what you're doing if you're going to play the role of sniper airsoft.
That's been a recurring thing we've talked about. First back, hour and a half, mentioned sniping, how it's a no-no at least 5 times.
It's... Now, Ethan here, he's one of our marksmen. He also likes to play sniper every once in a while with his Dragunov. Being a sniper is very hard in airsoft because you run into multiple issues, engagement distance being 1, cost to get there being 2, and then the whole airsoft being based on an honor system thing being 3.
Yeah, you can watch any plethora of sniper videos, and half the shots don't get called unless you were within a good enough distance. They felt that whack because you're using a heavier BB.
And even then, if you're just, everyone's seen it, it happens to them every once in a while too. You think that you just got hit by a random BB by one of your buddies in the back.
You're just like, oh, whoops.
It is highly possible that, halfway through the game, these dudes have spent the last 2 hours crawling through brush with their buddy or without their buddy, honestly, if they're there by themselves. And they spend an hour getting into position to wait for 2 or 3 shots the whole game because that's what they enjoy.
Calculated kill shots. You are not going to get volume.
No, I know when I do it, when we had one game, we were basically in a swamp. And myself and Tim were just dug in for a while waiting for guys to come our way. And eventually we had to start creeping forward, but as a sniper, you're going to get the dirtiest, you're going to get the most tired in a lot of cases.
You're going to get the most bug-bitten.
You're going to get the most bug-bitten, and you're going to get the least kills.
You're also going to be the most hated.
Oh, absolutely.
And you are also going to have the best stories. No doubt. Everyone has gone into a building with 3 of their friends and shot the place up and either got killed or killed everybody else. That's airsoft, especially with the direction modern military has been going. Everyone wants to replicate that. So everyone wants to go in just like MARSOC or SFOD and go in and clear a room. And I'm wearing multicam, I can't get hit. And I killed everybody.
They're making a movie.
Yeah. Everyone's got GoPros now. But that sniper, he's going to be out in the woods getting eaten by mosquitoes waiting for that one shot. And he'll talk about the time that a whole enemy player squad of like 10 dudes.
Practically stepped on them.
Yeah, just walked right over top of them, and they had no idea. And he could have knife killed all of them if he wanted, but he didn't because he was waiting for that one shot because he wanted to try and take out the leader of the other faction in the game. No one else will be able to say that. Like, yeah, I went in with me and like 4 friends, held off like 30 dudes. It was great. That's right. I had 15 dudes walk right in front of me, stand there and talk. I heard about everything that their team was doing, and then I got to kill their leader and watched everyone freak out because they didn't know where it came from.
Yep, I've done something like that before at Drug Wars, where I just kind of slowly crept behind the enemy lines, and eventually I found Taco, the leader of the drug cartel. And I was just like, knife him right in the back. Because they didn't even know I was there until I killed everyone in the rear line.
Yeah, so I mean, you're gonna have the most. You're gonna suck the most, but you're also gonna have the better experience, in my opinion, if it's done right. And again, it's not cheap. If you want a bolt-action rifle to be competitive with all the AEGs and gas blowbacks and HPA systems that are out there, you need to put a lot of money into a bolt gun because otherwise your engagement distance is less, your accuracy is worse, and your ammo capacity will always be a percentage of theirs. Now there are companies like Action Army. They make very high-end stuff. It's one of the best that's out there, and you can get it at, maybe 2/3 the price, half the price, probably about half the price.
Based off of what I've spent, because in that, and I'll reference the photo again, the sniper bolt action that I've built, based off of JG Bar 10, that Action Army hop-up unit that I use, because I use a mix of parts. The Action Army hop-up unit itself, I believe I paid $35 versus you can go up to the Lalax Prometheus one, that jumps up to about $56. And that's just the first one. Then there's the Neo Chamber, which jumps up again to about $68. And then if you want the top of the line PDI one, that's running you about $115 to $120 just on a hop-up unit. Not the bucking, not a barrel, just that one unit. And all these aftermarket units you need to be able to tune. So if you're not even mechanically inclined, you are going to screw up your gun, or you're not going to take full advantage of it. Because I've met people who don't even know to turn the hop-up wheel on a standard M4 and gain an extra 20 feet. So, that being said, you either need to be mechanically inclined and know you're going to be a tech, or get it to somebody who can build it for you.
Yeah. And bolt actions are way more, what's the word I'm looking for? Picky. Everything needs to be perfect for those to work the way that they are intended to be run.
Yeah.
And your engagement distance. When you're running at the max, so say you just put, you bought all Action Army and you put $300 into your $100 JD Bar 10. You bought the hop-up unit, the trigger assembly, the bolt, piston, sear, spring, barrel, it's all, you've opened up the stock and you put modeling clay in there to even the weight out. You go through and you
put Skittles in there, Tim.
At least they would have a tactical snack.
And you make it as good as it can be. Now your effective engagement distance, if you're running really heavy BBs such as .4, the new .5 that are out now, and they're getting pretty good reviews actually. And you're running those really heavy BBs with a system that can actually handle that and used it to the ammo's effect, the ammo's max effectiveness. Your engagement distance is going to be 100 feet minimal. Sometimes even up to 150 if you're running at the 3.6 joules that some Milsim events allow, which is, I think it's almost 600 feet per second with a .2.
Yeah, that 3.6 is related to Third Coast Airsoft.
Yes.
There specifically. This does not include like Lion Claws. This does include Milsim West has their own, and I believe American Milsim also has their own specific. You make sure to read the rules and regulations and send them emails. Ask on Facebook. You can talk to them like Lion Claws. You can personally message John Liu or Greg Brothers, and they'll respond to you usually within a day because they run a product. Same with Milsim West. I've contacted them before just about questions, and within a day.
Yes. So as a sniper, your engagement distance is huge, and you cannot engage someone within 100 to 150 feet, depending again on the event and their own FPS and joule regulations. The standard is typically between 2.5 and 3 joules. Typically, is anywhere in there. So you need to have some sort of ammo on you. Now you're going to be shooting a lot, but you need to have some on you because some of these bigger games, depending on your role and what your specific mission is, you could be put up on a roof in the middle of downtown, wherever, and it's like a turkey shoot. You got targets galore. But if you only brought out 2 or 3 mags, you didn't think you'd be shooting that much, you're going to run out in an hour.
Yeah.
So you need to have, even if you're not going to use all of it, you still need to have it. It's better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. Also, secondary. You need a secondary. It's some cases, like some of the roles can get away with it, such as the marksman or the rifleman, because they're both typically the same FPS range, traditionally. And they both run semi-auto. Rifleman can run full auto in some events, so that's not a huge deal for them either. And they both typically run anywhere from some people run 6 magazines. One of the guns was 5 on them because they like to be really light. Some people run more realistic, where they got 300 rounds on. They got 300 real world rounds on them, so they got 10 magazines. Some people run 15 magazines. One of my buddies, he had 16, 17 mags on him for one game. I don't think
And they were all readily available too.
Yeah.
They weren't even in a backpack.
No,
They're all mag pouches galore.
Yeah, it was crazy. He didn't have to reload at all. He didn't have to refill his mags at all that day. And they were the 129 round or the 190 round Banff mags. So the kid he had more ammo and magazines than our saw gunner had. In drums.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, he did.
I was that guy.
Yeah.
I was the guy with the saw.
And so you need a secondary because you are forced to because of your engagement distance. Support is traditionally the same way because full auto is not usually allowed inside of buildings.
Yeah.
It's allowed when you're shooting from inside of a building outwards, like through a window.
Where the BB's land determines what your select fire should be.
Yes. So most support roles, unless you're using the GNP, the Mark 23, the Navy's Stoner that the SEALs use for a short period of time, that is select fire. So you can use that indoors because you just flip it semi-auto and you're like a rifleman again, but with a stupid amount of ammo. So you need a secondary. Now, secondaries, you're going to want a couple different choices. You can go gas blowback handgun, AEP, electric pistol, such as the Tokyo Marui Glock 18, which is actually something we were talking about before the podcast.
Yeah.
Or you can go like a submachine gun. Some guns will allow. So it's like an MP5K or the new Crytek Chris that's coming out. The issue with gas blowback submachine guns is they have to be clean, and most people don't clean them as well as they should be. Especially the Chris that came out by KWA, it does not like dirt. If it gets dirty, it's not going to work. And mags are incredibly expensive. They're not as popular anymore, so everything's going up in price.
Lower magazine capacity.
Yes.
I mean, even in real world, to just this 3 basic tests to see if a weapons platform is successful is to take it, drag it through dry dirt, fire it, drag it through water, fire it, and I think it's drag it through mud, just to get all 3 scenarios of can this system and real guns fail that test. Imagine airsoft, where
which is even pickier.
Finicky.
Yeah.
It's finicky when it's brand new and in mint condition.
Yeah.
In perfect situations, and now you just subjected it to real world applications, and they're not going to like it. Yeah. Now they do work in that Chris. The people that have them and maintain them and know how to actually keep them in operating condition for a long period of time, they love them. You got your pluses and minuses from that. Same with the MP5Ks. Mags are readily available. MP5s are everywhere. So replacement parts are easy to find. You just got to kind of find what fits for you. So that's why I would put sniper the lowest of importance for the role of like an airsoft squad.
Yeah, if you're setting up a team and you want to play outside and work as a team, have radios probably, but radios necessary when you have a mill sim. The descending order of how things are going to be run in that way is the way that Kyle's described it for his personal taste. Everybody has a slightly different opinion. I know I personally had a different, where I traded riflemen with support actually, just because of the versatility of having individuals that can potentially use full auto in multiple locations. But that's just me. And also, I take it from the airsoft aspect, not the military one like you can.
Which needs to be brought up is I'm going to mention real world stuff a lot because that's what I get paid to do. It does not carry over into airsoft. Things that work for me in real world are not going to work for me in airsoft. And I've had that happen to me several times, and it drives me insane because something that should have worked didn't. And that's just due to just the components of airsoft.
Yeah, we'll have a comparative on real steel versus airsoft podcast. I have that written out too.
That'll be fun.
Probably in that email. Ethan, what do you got? What are your thoughts on it? Do you have a descending order as well when it comes to importance? Do you feel, from your experience, because you've been to Milton, you've played plenty of outdoor, and you're already a DMR, so you love outdoor. Period. Absolutely. And then the indoor thing was different for you because then you had to change your gameplay style. Because we had to teach you how to clear rooms. You learned really quick. That's why I got scared to hell when you're doing it by yourself. I'm videotaping this, and you're just like, "Yeah, follow me." And I watched 3 other dudes follow you in a room.
We've never done it before.
Yeah, you cleared the room, and then you came out first, like you're supposed to. And I was like, "Oh, what am I here for anymore?"
No, definitely for me. First and most important, I think, is the rifleman. Okay. It's the most versatile. They can move the fastest. They can do the most things. And if they have those underslung grenade launchers, doubly useful. You can't get an underslung grenade launcher on your side. Doesn't really work.
You can.
It just doesn't really work.
You're not going to want to.
Because like
they're already carrying
with
so
that
much
tactics podcast we'll plan on doing, we'll talk about squad leading.
Right.
And how that pertains. Because most of the time, that's milsim. Because with squad leading, there's so many more variables. You have vehicles to deal with. You have multiple locations where you have to engage fire. And you have to deal with running an objective while still maintaining medics and things like that.
And your sanity.
Yeah.
But anyway.
As well as integrity.
Yeah.
Make sure everyone's where they're supposed to be. What you actually need to know where they are.
Right.
On top of that, you're probably carrying
2 radios.
Multiple frequencies, if not 2 radios.
And nobody shuts up. And nobody ever shuts up on the radio.
It's amazing.
It's a nightmare.
It's so awesome.
Although when I was doing Overwatch on Broken Dagger, it was actually very clean. Very nice. Very tasty.
Well,
but anyways, back to the order. Right, but back to the order of things. Yeah. Definitely first place is riflemen. I'd put support in a very close second because they're the guys who are just gonna keep everyone's head down. And it's scary when you put them on a rooftop with the DMRs and they're just wiping out all of the enemy charges.
Yeah.
And in third place, DMR definitely, because again, they can scout out just as well as a sniper could, and they still have that semi-automatic ability.
With a shorter engagement distance.
Sometimes. Typically,
usually, some places are tying in the DMR and sniper role with the same engagement distance, and they're just like, why?
Right.
When you could just, like, for example, like with the Third Coast, they allowed 3.6 joules with a bolt action. Specifically bolt action.
But you could not do it with semi-auto.
Because that's the controversy there, is because HPA, they've limited to a certain amount of joules, regardless.
Honestly, I find that perfectly fine.
So it forces you, unless you're using I wonder what they're going to say with the HPA Bolt from Wolverine, the Mancraft kits and stuff.
I think as long as
they might do the technicality because it's a bolt action.
I think it's still
allow you to go to the sniper, even though it's technically HPA.
Well, it's still a bolt action, and that's the category it's going to fall under. So I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah, it gets rid of the mixing of the two.
Right.
Because I hate it when a check out this sniper, and it's an M4
Right.
with a
Gigantic
big ass 50
scope.
millimeter scope on
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
And you're just sitting there.
It's a G&G
Uh-huh.
combat machine with a $20 scope and a $4 bipod with the legs fully extended.
Fully extended
And a
too.
high- and a
2
high
feet of bipod.
And a high cap magazine.
And halfway through the video, the
Oh,
iPod
I'm getting
breaks.
chills.
And
Just
still,
thinking
they're
about
still running the 8.4 volt battery, and
Yeah.
It's all whiny and
Like,
bitchy.
that is not a
Anyway,
sniper.
we all started as that guy. Everybody did.
Yeah.
I didn't.
No, you
I
spent
spent-
$300 to buy a Dragunov and then stuff to make it awesome.
Exactly. That's what you do. But anyway, and
Yeah.
in last place, definitely the sniper. Sniper's a lot of fun to play. You get a lot of great stories, but the sniper's role can easily be filled by a designated marksman when you're moving as a squad. Because when you move as a squad sniper, they don't move with the squad very often. They're usually off in buddy teams,
Yeah.
moving around the field, staying hidden, and only striking when they need to or when there's a particular target that needs to be taken out.
Sniper
Which
and
is-
spotter.
Very anti-squad.
Exactly.
Yeah. See it not many times. Like Milsim West specifically, they only allow 2
Yeah.
squads,
Yep.
two sniper and spotter teams per team.
Yep.
Tan, let's call it tan versus green.
Right.
So they're not even assigned to the rest of the regiment. It's strictly
They're on their own.
yeah, they're on their own, giving specific instructions on what they need to do.
Yep. And they're also relaying information for the
Yeah,
most part.
they
They scout more than they snipe.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually the United States military's doctrine for snipers is scout and recon more than killing.
Yeah, I mean, you can watch Sloan American Sniper, pardon me,
Yeah.
with the movie about Chris Kyle, and see he's with that one guy on that roof, away from everybody else for a long time,
Pissing and bombers.
multiple different locations, alone for a long time.
Yeah, real army, your job as a sniper is to go out on a mountain or a building roof somewhere
And just
and
sit
just sit in your filth and
Yeah.
smell horrible and be uncomfortable for days
So you get rotated out.
just to watch in case some HVT or HVI decides to walk into that compound or that building or that village that you're looking over. You're not there to shoot anybody. You're not there to do any Call of Duty. I'm going to shoot this Russian dude in the arm.
blow it
It's-
clean off.
Yeah, it's nothing like that. It's you're literally out there. You're the eyes and the ears,
Mhm.
along with all the drones that are out there, like the RQ-107
Oh, geez.
Shadow and the little the Ravens. And
I kind of want to get a quadcopter for airsoft recon.
I would
think that would be
I would
a
only
lot
do
of
it
fun.
for the video, just to make a cool video.
they're so
Yeah.
they're so loud though.
Yeah,
They
but
are. You can hear those things hum, which makes
Yeah.
me amazed that the audio that they get from those sometimes is good. I'm like, how? You're
Directional
on the
microphone.
actual helicopter.
directional microphone.
Yeah.
Directional and they're programmed
Yep.
to drown out certain frequencies,
Mhm.
such as
The
the
motor
motors.
line.
Yeah, so they just have an audio for.
But, yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So sniper for the
So-
last one again.
So
Again, yeah.
Yeah,
no,
that was
absolutely.
we all
very
agree that
specific.
snipers and marksmen are third.
Argue, they're pretty much the least important. I mean, anything below them would probably be like a vehicle.
Yeah.
Vehicle's gonna get screwed up pretty fast if you have a competent opponent.
Yes, which we've seen at multiple events.
Oh, Broken Dagger. That thing never got it got about 20
Oh,
feet
yeah.
down the road before it got blown up.
Or even like Irene, like the line calls Irene from 2014. The
Yeah.
last one, or the 15.
We went.
last one.
Yeah, we went to
2015,
15 when it was at MUTC.
And vehicles there, while they were very effective,
They were a
and they got
liability.
they got people to move. And if a vehicle rolled by and you were exposed, you
You were screwed.
you got off your ass and ran to
Yeah.
get into some cover. But at the same time, they weren't hard to take out. While you know me shooting at the guy and sitting in that door, that 4-wheel Jeep that was
Mhm.
at the top off, that 249 passenger, and then they had the 250s on top. I mean, I was lighting up that 249 gunner sitting in the passenger door all day long just to keep him distracted.
It won't.
It's not.
It won't take out the
It's not
vehicle.
going to count
Yeah.
because
But it'll make him not want to be there.
it'll make him upset, which means he won't really know where to aim, so he's less likely to hit what he's trying to shoot
Right.
at. But I'm not doing anything productive other than distraction.
Yeah, the
Can
most
be-
you're trying to do is to give someone with a launcher
Yes.
an opportunity to get to a better angle
Yeah.
and fire it off.
Giving them the opportunity to lean out from that tree and lob a Nerf football into the bed of the truck or whatever.
Although I was hearing with that particular one, vehicles actually became a liability even if they were on your team because they ended up shooting you.
Yes, we
Yeah.
had that issue at Homeland last year where our squad of 8 we were given the opportunity to go sit in a
Suicide mission.
do a suicide mission right in front of
The spawn for
Tan's
Tan.
spawn, which was Mad Max Mullen for that mission, so that was exciting. And it was just 8 of us that were there, and there were 3 of us on the first floor, and there were 5 up on the stairwell and up on the second floor of this destroyed parking garage. And that was fun. But
Yeah.
we ended up the 3 of us on the bottom. It was myself, Sam, and one of our friends. So I don't think you guys had a chance to meet.
Yeah, it's Tucker.
Tucker,
was
yeah,
here
he
for the
was
first
here. Okay, yeah,
episode,
so Tucker, he was our medic. So it was me and Tucker were riflemen, and Sam was running a PKM. And I think Sam took out with his PKM. I think he took out 80-10 in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah.
He just as soon as we heard them yell go, Sam popped up, laid the bipod in the middle of the police car he was hiding behind, and just started firing. Just didn't let off the trigger for about 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And within seconds, just kill rags everywhere. They didn't know what was going on. It was really funny. And me and Tucker, he got hit. Tucker medicked him. Tucker got hit. I medicked him.
Yeah, we were back up and down.
And it was, we only survived, I think, total like 3 minutes. I think we were alive. But we took out.
That was
on
an
the
insane 3 minutes.
On the first.
No, it was longer than 2 minutes because when you
It
guys
only
were like,
seemed
"Oh shoot,
longer.
the vehicle's out there," and then they ran towards that tank,
The whole
and,
thing.
I just lit up the tank, and then he popped his head up finally and got blown up. And I was like, "Got him!"
The whole thing only lasted 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If that, which I'm amazed that the 8 of us held.
Because we got rolled.
The 8 of us held off 180-10 for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Roughly. And we were alive. The 3 of us on the first floor were alive for about half of it. And it took 30 of them to kit us.
Yeah.
And that was them getting killed, revived, walking up along the walls next to us, actually finally being able to push in, trying to circle around behind us. I ended up running out of ammo for my Crytek, and I started using my HK-45, and I got a couple people with that before they finally lit me the hell up.
Yeah.
And at which point, our friendly vehicle showed up, and he chased a guy around a tank that was there. That was really entertaining to watch, like something out of Family Guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna link Tucker's video because that's hilarious.
They were just driving. The truck was driving in a circle around this tank, and the dude was running in circles on the opposite side of the tank, trying to stay away from this truck. And then that friendly technical truck decided to go, I see people on the roof. I'm going to shoot at them instead of all the tan guys, and lit all of our allies up that were on that second story. And that's how we ended up getting killed, because he killed 3 of the 5 that were up there, and the other 2 got overwhelmed very quickly. So vehicles, if you are going to run a vehicle, if you're one of those lucky people that have, just some random Cherokee lying around you want to carve up, or you bought one of the Humvees since they're on sale now for $5,000.
Cheap Toyota. Yeah, the 5-grand Humvee, which is a conversation our team wants to have.
Yes, or if you have a lot of money that you're willing to throw away because airsoft is very important to you, you can buy the more up armored ones for $10,000 to $14,000. But you can get just a very traditional looking Humvee of all the different makes and models for $5,000. So if you got one just lying around, or you want to have one just lying around, you should shoot the guy. Then you can turn that into a gun truck too if you want it. But you need to always know what team you're on, because sometimes, depending on the host, the vehicles will switch teams. But if you're static for that one team, if you're with that one team that whole time, make sure you know what team you're on.
Yeah.
And what you're supposed to be shooting
Yeah.
at, what you're not supposed to be shooting at. If you think that might be a friendly,
Don't shoot.
and they're not shooting at you,
And the rule is don't shoot at the vehicle anyway unless you're a rocket person.
yes. Now no one's going to listen to that, and
Rule.
everyone will shoot at you
Yeah.
because they want to keep your
Roll
head
up your
down.
windows.
remember that first rule of airsoft. Don't be a dick.
Yeah,
Just
don't,
forget it for vehicles.
Don't
You're gonna get dicks.
Don't bring your fancy 2018 Jeep Rubicon with the new Hellcat engine in it that they've been talking about because you're gonna. That's what it is.
Yeah, BBs don't seem that devastating, but they will dent and screw up your finish.
Yes. So.
And mounting a machine gun to the top of your Toyota does not make it a technical.
No, but it does make it look like it belongs in Death Race, which is cool anyway.
Well, I guess. Yeah,
That's what I need for waste.
yeah, technical.
There you go.
We gotta find like a cheap sport track. Just like $800.
Magic of Craigslist.
It's been hard to find them though. They don't die. People don't get rid of them.
Yeah, I mean, if you and your friends know what you're doing, and you're to a degree, you know what you're doing. You have the basic concepts of combat in a wooden terrain, as well as in an urban environment. You're all well rounded, so each person kind of has their own role. It's not just a bunch of M4s or MP5s or sniper rifles or SR-25s or whatever. It's actually well rounded. Like you got a couple riflemen, you got a support or two depending on the size. You got a couple guys with DMRs, maybe you got a guy with a sniper rifle, but who actually has one that's very well built, like our buddy Tim does. There's not a whole lot that you guys can't accomplish. Our squad in Irene last year, there were 6 of us,
Yeah, it'd be
and we
6. Yeah.
there were 6 of us because the other half decided they wanted to be in a different squad because they didn't understand the squads were. So we thought they didn't even show up. They were there the whole time. The 6 of us, we got the most accomplished. Kills, I don't even know. It's not even relevant, really.
No.
We accomplished the most. We were the most effective. We were actually, by Igor, we were told we were the MVP, my platoon leader, I guess it was. And Igor, we were the MVP squad of our team. Just the 6 of us. I mean, we could go into a building and clear the building and hold it with just the 6 of us. We could also maneuver through the woods. There was nothing that we couldn't do because there's myself with military experience, and there's 2 of our friends that are there that also have some law enforcement experience. So we're all
Outside of Keith?
Tucker.
Tucker does have law enforcement?
Yeah.
I thought
Not much, not nearly as much as Keys, but yes.
Oh, I thought it was
he does.
strictly just the military experience he had little of.
No, he's got more law enforcement than
Oh, okay.
military being very. But as long as you guys are well rounded, you guys have your stuff set up the way you want, and everyone knows their role. There's not a whole lot you can't do. A vehicle shows up. I might throw a wrench in the gears a little bit, but it's not going to stop you. You come across a larger enemy unit, it's not going to stop you. Now, you may not be able to successfully engage that unit, but you will know how to proceed when you come into contact with one.
Yeah.
You'll have a better understanding and idea of when to fall back, when to advance, when to stay hidden.
I'd say at the very minimum, at least get a good understanding of the rifleman position.
Yes. If you get the concepts of a rifleman, you can do everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we said in that how to start was to start out rifleman.
Yeah.
Learn how to use a basic M4 or an AK. Any of those basic rifle platforms you got. You can get full auto. You can use semi. You can learn all the tactics. It's lighter than trying to run a semi
You'll have more fun.
run a support weapon. And then the DMR. Yeah. DMRs are typically only useful outdoor. So
I ran the SVD indoors once, a few times.
yeah, but you were having.
I was having a hell of a time doing anything because the thing is so.
Yeah, you got 3 feet of gun
3 feet of gun
before you even get to touch the door frame.
Right. I mean,
You can't hide corners.
We joked just slapping a rubber knife on the tip of it and poking it into rooms to get everybody.
You probably could have gotten it.
Oh, absolutely.
People stand right in front of the door.
So when it comes, so let's say this for squads. Right now, what's for you guys? I can say it, but I would rather hear it from you guys. Right when you say, okay, we're going to go to Milson, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Outside of, I don't want to be a squad leader.
Oy vey, the shekels.
Well,
For you, is it rifleman? Is it the goat? You have
rifleman or marksman.
You have no, like, regrets of, like, oh man, I never get to try this because somebody else always has it, or somebody is more attuned to that play style?
No, and I don't know if that has to do with the military portion of it, where I actually have been able to do all of those things.
Yeah.
So I'm not, I don't have the same excitement with picking up a PKM. Now, if I got to play with like the 134 minigun, yes, I will be a child
Yeah,
for Christmas, and I will not give that back. I will try to steal it from that person. But no, it's just, I don't know. Just I see the 249 and I go, glad that's not a real one because you would be sucking right now. And I go the second time, well, I'm glad I don't have to carry 3 box mags for this stupid thing on top of carrying it because it's just bulky.
Yeah.
And I like to move,
Right.
and I move a lot in the military because I'm bouncing across my whole element. So real world, I don't want anything more than an M4 really either. I mean, I wouldn't mind a SCAR heavy, but choose. And right, I mean, I enjoy my time airsofting as a rifleman or a marksman because again, going back to the advancements of airsoft, they're almost one and the same at this point. I enjoy that better. I enjoy being able to maneuver and actively and effectively engage targets at range at my own whim, rather than, I should say, being stuck in the rear with a bolty shooting a dude at 350 feet because you can.
Yeah.
Doing that half a dozen times to a dozen times in a 3-hour period.
So it's easier for you to say, I don't like doing the sniper role because the pacing's kind of slow and I really like to be in there.
I enjoy it. I enjoy all the roles. I really do.
Yeah.
If you give me a PKM or a 249 or a 240 or the Stoner or whatever.
Because even with your experience, you're more than happy to be humble and be like, yeah, you can be in charge. 1, because I don't want to deal with the radio. But 2, I already know.
Yeah, because they have no idea how to use proper radio protocols.
Yeah, and 2, you already have all the skills necessary to know all the roles relatively well. Even with sniping, even if you're not actually a military sniper, you can use still some of the same skills from like hunting.
Oh yeah.
Using bolt action and hunting.
I've got enough practical experience using bolt guns, both for hunting applications as well as non-hunting.
Anybody in airsoft who's ever maxed out their scope and is using the actual reticles to do what real snipers do, you're full of crap because there's no way you shot that far.
No.
You've not let him walk into your shot. You've never done that. Don't even say you have.
Actually, I have done that once.
Yeah.
Once.
Out of the hundreds, if not thousands of rounds you've shot.
It was funny, too, because it was, I thought the BB wasn't going to hit, and then all of a sudden, he steps forward and thwack right into the helmet. Apparently, it rang like a dinner bell on his head, and he had to take it off.
That's a god shot.
Makes you feel good.
I enjoy all the roles, and I would have no problem playing all of the roles, but my preference is Rifleman and DMR. I love my SR-25. Thing is fantastic. It shoots way too hot with the .4, and it sounds like a freight train when I hit a wall with it. But I also love running my Heartbeat, my Pride Tech. I also love my SCAR Heavy when the thing worked. I'm setting that to umbrella armories over the winter.
Yeah.
Have them fix it. That's a cursed gearbox. I don't know why.
Yeah,
it's very frustrating.
I think you need a priest.
For you, Ethan.
Yeah.
Is it the same situation where there's one role you just don't retain? And I think it's the support role. I don't see you enjoying that.
I don't know. I mean,
heavyweight weapon
with
all that extra gear.
You know, it's something I haven't gotten to try just yet, and I'd be open to trying it. But my go-to is definitely DMR. But I always have the fallback of a rifleman, either my AK or my M4. I've always got one of them, and if I ever feel like, things aren't going good, or the SVD isn't shooting the way I want it to, I'll just pop on that rifle, move with the squad. But for me, I really love the DMR role, more so than sniping, because one, you get to stay with your buddies, you get to support them, and you have the comfort of knowing they're watching your back. And two, when I do get separated from that element, I can always fall back on sniper techniques to basically I become a sniper for the time that I'm separated from the element, and I can do those things before I fall back and get regrouped. And having the capability to just go between those two things and then having the fallback as a rifleman is really great. But I don't have the money or the strong arms for support just yet.
Hold on. I don't have the money. What did we just talk about at the gun range yesterday?
I don't have the money that I'm willing to spend.
I'll say, what gun did you just buy?
Which one?
The real sword?
the real sword SVD, HPA.
Just so you could have...
Well, hey, I'm going to be reselling the HPA unit that I'm not using, so I'm going to get some of that money back and just bring that cost right down.
He's probably going to sell to Josh, actually.
Yeah.
Josh was really...
Josh is like, he's like all over that thing.
Josh already has some money saved up for it. He's like, I'm halfway to it.
Yeah. It's been like 3 years since I bought something brand new.
He was going to send his M14 to Umbrella as well. We spent the last 4 years working on it. It'll be working great, and then something random will go wrong.
And then the BBs will explode in the barrel.
Then he'll spend a month trying to figure out why, and he'll fix it. It'll work great for a couple months, and it'll break again. Something catastrophic will happen. He's wanted the HPA for a while, and he was about to send it to Umbrella Armories when I sent my star in at some point in the next month or two. And Ethan over here decides to spend way more money than the rest of us combined to get that sword.
I don't know that bolt action there.
Yeah, I think he's put more money into that than I spent on the SVD.
No, you spent just about
in total on the SVD. Yes. We're not going to talk about the unit.
Oh, so you're just talking semantics here.
Everything
I bought for the SVD is not technically on it, because you can't have two receivers on one gun.
Exactly.
I've already heard what the grand total is, I just haven't said it.
I think I've only ever done a rough estimate of what the grand total is. I've never actually
I want to say $1,200.
That's in the neighborhood.
Yeah, you're still not.
And my bolt action's cheaper still.
I know.
But is it as good?
Yes, it is.
It's not semi-auto though.
No, it's a bolt action. Okay. And then for me personally,
that's always going to be.
And clearly,
how much I've spent on that, despite saying I never have any money.
It's really pertaining on what the rest of the squad's been running, but typically for me, it's support now. Now that when I got the taste of support and how much I just loved the volume of fire, and being, because there's individuality in your own experiences, and then there's working as a tool to make the team succeed. Same with sniping, DMR, and support. They're different than a rifleman. A rifleman kind of has his own independence, because a rifleman, if he runs off to get cover from something and he's a good distance away from the rest of the squad, he can recover from that. If a support gunner does that, a DMR does that, it's a lot more difficult to reestablish how the team's running. You have to pay a lot of attention and communicate with your squad leader on what to do and how it should be done most efficiently. Your skill is limited by only how well you fire your gun and perform in the field. Beyond that, you leave it with your squad leader. Otherwise, you're just going to start overplaying and making mistakes. And yeah. And then before that, then like with Ethan, like with Kyle Reitman, it's the kits are mainly for me. It's the kits with what it comes to a rifle, because you can customize them in any specific way. Support's very, very specific in how you run that kit, and it's usually heavy. So
and bulky.
Bulky.
You're not someone that's going to be diving into the dirt very often.
Yeah, if
No.
you do, you're gonna get punched in the chest
You look down, you're gonna fall, you're gonna have a bad time.
by
You're-
a drum bag. or
You're getting
something.
down, and you're going to be down for a while. You're not going to be. You're not going to be. I'm up, he sees me. I'm down. I'm up, he sees me. I'm down. Because
Yeah.
one, there's.
I mean, I did-
Want to. And two, it's not real world, so you don't have to.
Was it Homeland or was it Irene? I was sitting at that table just covering a doorway
That
for a straight 30 minutes because it was
That
a
was
job.
That was Homeland. That's when me and that girl went over to that little compound, and she and I went and cleared that compound and
Yeah.
started searching for stuff.
And that's what you have to do sometimes. Is just you're there as security. You're not there to be some, I don't know what you call it. Well, the Keanu Reeves thing.
No. You're not there to be high speed, low drag.
Yeah, you're not.
You're there to drag and drag and drag.
Thank you for watching the second episode of the Cerberus podcast. Be sure to check out part 2 where we talk more about the roles you can play in a squad. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other videos on this channel. And be sure to check us out on Cerberus Tactical Airsoft on Facebook. Now get out there and play.